Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we'll go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4 hour. As you can see, we're having a nice little sell-off here. We have actually come up to our first level, pretty much exactly where we are now. Which was the sort of the breakout point that we had for this rally to the upside. So yeah, this is a level that Bitcoin will want to try and hold, but you can see the actual speed we've come into it. It may prove a bit difficult, as it is indeed showing at the moment. But I mean, clearly we can trade down further here, and then wick back up, and this candle can close above. This 4 hour candle can actually close above this horizontal. So yeah, we've got to watch out for that. Obviously, these market has been getting pullbacks, as you can see, and then they've been bought back up, pullbacks, bought back up. It is just the nature of an upward trend, but at some point we will establish at least a medium-term downtrend and come and test some of our lower levels. I mean, this one being the most notable first one, around 14k. So could this be the start of it, or are we just gonna get bought back up here, or we're gonna bounce from here and then continue upwards and come and tap the 17 plus K region first? Obviously that is going to be in the balance. Weekend price action, you kind of know my views. Pretty much I expect it just to range. Obviously we've got wider ranges now with obviously with the bigger numbers and the fact we're in relative price discovery. I know we have been at these levels briefly, but not any time recently. So don't forget, there are going to be people wanting to get back into this. The fundamentals, I believe, and lots of us believe, are very strong for Bitcoin. So there will be buying coming in, but yeah, but obviously we do need some sort of a pullback and a back test at some point. So at what point that will be, and from what level that will be at, is obviously does remain to be seen. But yeah, you can see this at the moment as it stands. We broke out this level. This at the moment is back testing this level. So if we bounce off this level, start to move back up again, that would be a buy signal. A buy signal for certain players, and then clearly taking out this highs on top of here would be another buy signal. So they would obviously then pile in longer, and then here would be where they would look to take profits. So that would be a pretty textbook trade here, based on the breakout back test, based on the forecheck, back check, paycheck rule. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But obviously, clearly, if we do lose this level, come back down. If we have a weak bounce off here, sorry, if we lose this level and continue on, obviously that would not be not fit into that narrative. And yeah, I mean, we potentially could be coming down to test the 14k. But yeah, obviously we just gotta wait to see what happens there. Let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance. So it has is finding a bit more downside from this rejection of the trend line, which is good. Good to see a lower high printed. We just now need to work on that lower low. So obviously below this level, and then it will get to a point where we could look like we are more likely going to start a downtrend to wherever we bottom out. Obviously a move up and then just a pullback isn't basically the start, realistically going to be the start of a downtrend. But hey, we consolidated, we test back up, we put in a lower high, and we're now moving lower. Time has passed, price action has not regained highs, and if we then make obviously this lower high, then a lower low, people will then see that as a signal to actually start to get back into alts, and that could just be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Trend is your friend, sign of a reversal, market dynamic that could then drive us lower. And then obviously first level would probably be down here. I would expect if we come down, take out this low. I don't expect this low then to bounce price, even though it is a pretty significant level. I think we would at least get down to here, even if that at this point we did bounce, turn back up, come all the way back up and turn bullish. I am obviously I don't know. I mean, I have told you guys before, I don't necessarily have a fundamental view on Bitcoin dominance, because well, I have views on certain altcoins, but not necessarily the altcoin market as a whole. And if anything, I would say a lot of the altcoin market cap is tied up in basically junk projects from like back in the day that I don't really think are have any relevance going forward. So if you look at like a lot of the coins in the top 10, they are just they're just throwbacks. They're just useless throwbacks from the past, and those I think are not necessarily ever going to do very well again, but there's other altcoins that are going to do good. So just a blanket Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin versus every other alt is difficult just to analyze that exact pairing, that exact statistic, when you have obviously increasingly different dynamics in the altcoin market. Obviously when the altcoin market well, when altcoins were relatively new, and obviously their use cases and what they were doing were relatively new. They were all starting from that that same sort of starting block, but now we've got different starting blocks with different tech, different devs, different. It's a lot different now, basically. So that's why I don't necessarily have a view, because there are variables that I just can't really realistically quantify. All I will say is I think the altcoins that I do like, I think they will do well, and I think the altcoins that I don't like, I think they won't do well. I mean, that's all I can really say. And how those relative values play into this BTC dominance chart against Bitcoin, I can't fully quantify. So all I will say though is that rising tide lifts all ships. So if we do get a big pull down in dominance, then obviously even the junk alts will go up, but I just think they'll go up relatively less than some of the better ones. So right. That being covered, let's have a look at stocks. Let's have a look at the S&P. S&P looking very good. Very good close here. We couldn't really have expected, after this absolute massive rejection, we couldn't necessarily have hoped for a better close on Friday. People happy to go into the weekend at basically long stocks at this level. All I will say is that you guys have probably heard me say before, when you get a big range candle, big pullback, the midpoint is the important point, and funnily enough, this high roughly looks to be the midpoint. So this is a make or break point. This is a perfect level to dead cat bounce to, and then reject and come back down. Is also a perfect level that if we then break it and continue upside, we then would expect continuation to the upside. So we've literally closed at, for what me is a sit on the fence level in regards to this move, but it's still a very good move insofar as the fact that this didn't confirm a high. This massive rejection hasn't confirmed yet a high. And we're now going to then make a downtrend basically in the zigzag fashion. It's not confirmed yet, so that is what I will say about that. DXY obviously progressing out of its to the downside, out of its descending wedge. Again, we've got this trend line. This trend line is important. We are approaching it. I would probably expect to bounce some hold up on this trend line. As you can see, it is an important trend line. But obviously I do think we'll lose that. This is the target of the obviously the ascending wedge, and then getting down to here, I mean, we don't believe in double bottoms, so we'd expect to take this out, and then we're coming down to here, and then again it's just going to be a double bottom. Do we believe in double bottoms? Could you squint? Can you squint and see a head and shoulders in here? You can sort of. You got your high, and then I guess this is a bit of anomalous, but we've got this low, and then if we put in a lower low, it's sort of like a I can't really think of the word to describe it, but yeah, either way, it's kind of looking like we are going to come lower, so that would obviously be good for everything. And I mean, I have got some I've got views on the dollar, mainly being that the Fed is going to have to go negative. It's going to be forced into negative rates. That is a big call for myself, because there are people that are literally adamant they won't. But the market is going to walk them into negative rates, and they're going to have to do it. So there is going to be deflation of asset prices, and is going to walk them into negative rates. Negative rates is obviously going to hammer the dollar. Don't forget, for a start, I think my personal it's a bit of a pointless thing to say, but my personal view is that most of the market doesn't think negative rates are coming to the dollar. So when that starts to get factored in, then yeah, we will come down. It does also explain the relative strength of the euro as well, because they have negative rates. So if they have negative rates and the dollar doesn't, then obviously the dollar, the euro, sorry, not the relative strength. Actually, I'm getting a couple of things mixed up there. I do actually want to explain why the euro is actually potentially is strong compared to the dollar. One is obviously that that whilst the whole market doesn't think we're going to get negative rates in the dollar, more people are probably coming over to that side of thought. The other thing is UBI, basically, just helicopter money, universal basic income. Obviously, America can do that. America probably will do that. The Eurozone, it can't do it. It can't do UBI because how is each individual country that isn't in control of basically the monetary policy, because it's controlled by the ECB, gonna do UBI in euros? I mean, they can't, because so whilst all the different countries have obviously got the same currency, but they are different currencies, they can't do UBI. So what does that mean? UBI in the US, well, I think basically what we're going to have is UBI in the US, and we're going to have negative rates. And in the Eurozone, we already have negative rates, so that downside is priced into the euro, and we can't have UBI. So watch out for a massive move up in the euro. And also the DXY, I'm bearish of the DXY. The major pair in the DXY, the major part of that basket is the euro. So if I'm bearish of the DXY, clearly that states that the euro is pretty much going to go up. So interesting thoughts there, guys. Not that basically what the euro does really matters, but it does also mean that the euro economy is not going to do very well, and is going to struggle. And yeah, so we'll have to see, we'll have to monitor that. So yeah, so back to Bitcoin. Oh, sorry, we'll have a look at Ethereum whilst we're here. Ethereum USD first. I mean, 450 was the breakout level for me. Well, around this level, this is sort of the level we've got to hold. Ascending triangle faked out to the upside, and now basically it's like a slingshot reversal, a bump and run. Tried to break above, didn't, coming back down. It's not actually bump and run, ignore that. But yeah, so realistically we could be forming. I mean, you guys just know how I like my horizontals, how I like my boxes, basically. So yeah, I mean, hold this level, things are not looking too bad, basically. And we can just still trade the sideways range here in this box above this 450, and then yeah, see if we can break out to the upside. This is what does need to start to make a move. Getting rejected by this trend line again at the moment. If we get back up with this trend line horizontal after this severe test to the downside, then yeah, we could be looking pretty good. If we take out this low here, then we'll be looking pretty bad. Not much else I can say about that. Again, like I'm saying, we're not confirmed in a bullish uptrend in alts, in a reverse in the Bitcoin dominance yet. We're not confirmed in an uptrend in Ethereum against basically Bitcoin yet. So we'll have to see. Are we just going to get more continuation to the downside? Or are we going to actually get a trend reversal? So let's have a look at the stochastics. So 4 hour coming down nicely, and had been since this point here, which sort of did foretell this potential move down. Also the 10 hour had been down basically since the same time. Oh no, sorry, since now actually. 10 hour, that is this candle. Yeah, so I mean, 10 hour basically was getting very high, very toppy above all of these recent highs, all of them. So yeah, I mean, that was obviously toppy. 12 hour, well, 12 hour, as you can see, lower than this high here, and turning back down now. Daily looking to turn back down, 2-day turn back down, 3-day probably looking to feed through and turn back down, and obviously everything higher looking good, as we know. But what does that mean for price action? Does this mean this is going to be the test down to 14k? It potentially could be. I'm relatively undecided. We'll just have to play the break of the level, see what happens. But if we hold this level and bounce, then yeah, I mean, I do think the market will muster everything it can to come and tap this 17 odd K region and then be like, right, that is it, sell, 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 and let's basically take profits here, and then see where Bitcoin falls to, and then find a level to buy, which potentially could be about 14K. On the absolute super bullish aggressive side, it could be around the level basically that we're at now. So yeah, rally up to 17 plus K and then come back down to here. So that is pretty much it, guys. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I'll speak to you guys later on today.